Hello. Hello, all. Happy birthday, Rebecca. Double nickels. I saw Truck Part Wizard and, of course, one of our own, Terry. Happy birthday. Hello, Trish. Hello, Dagoo, Turd Ferg. Hello, Kathy and Libby and Kevin. Let's see. Kevin, the NDA was signed many, many years ago for a group that I put currency in. That when it did go, I would not tell anybody what I got paid. I've not been paid. It has not gone. It is not a big deal at all. When you hear I've signed an NDA, I've not gotten rich, doesn't mean it's gone. A lot of folks out there are taking that and running with it like cuckoo and cuckoo cuckoo. It's not anything big to chase. Let's see. Did you hear the story of the lady who had her roof done by illegal aliens? Then they were done. She called a heist. No, I've not seen that one. That's oh boy, she got a roof. I don't know. That's a little questionable. Very, yeah, I agree with you. Let's get this done so we don't have to meet like this. We can meet while you're laid back. No fun bond news. Mostly exceptionally quiet. Even my bank contacts are not working, not on call this weekend. They said they got one of the rare weekends where they were told to relax, which probably means it's going this weekend, right? Island Teal, I know a great one. You can go over here to my link tree. I'll drop it. You can look for the Biozox link, and it is right there. Even takes you to the right page so that you know you got the right page for discounts, etc. All US sourced, all pharmaceutical grade, human grade. Hello, beautiful soul. Wait, did I share the link? Probably did. It's all fun and games until the brain goes. Caroline doing great. Let's see. Oh, Grumpy, thank you. Grumpy said Caroline is doing great under the circumstances. She's ready to start her rehab and is anxious to go home. Caroline and her family, thank you all for support. She's overwhelmed by your support. Thank you for that update. Pay attention, White House X post, money incoming. Really, I mean, it reads like something straight out of Nasera when you look at his page. You're trying to like balance it against some of the actions we're seeing. It is makes for interesting trying to track it down. Whitney, killing me, Smalls, but thank you. Salutations, Ellie in Northern Michigan. Should try. Let me drop that link tree. And guys, if you have a tough time finding links, etc., we're going to try to get the or keep a link tree that's updated each month, different advertisers or whatever. So if you're looking for a link, all you got to do is remember one, bookmark it, save it. I put it in the different platforms, and it will help you get where you are at. On the Telegram side, at MarkZ somebody faking to be me is at it again. I'm going to repeat it. I want everybody pay attention. I will not reach out to you on Telegram ever. It's not happening. I despise Telegram. We have a Telegram. I think it's the nastiest platform in the history of the planet. Many of you guys like it, but so many in here in this community have been defrauded because of Telegram. That's why I stay away from it. That and 99.9% of this news and information on it's crap. There's some good stuff on there. Don't get me wrong. And there's some good groups on there, but they are fighting a serious uphill battle. I am not reaching out to you on Telegram. Never going to happen. You cannot set up a QFS account now. You don't need XLM, XRP, or the whole world's coming to a stop. You're never going to be able to exchange. That's bullshit. Stop falling for it. Don't email me and say, hey, is it you reaching out to me? It is not me reaching out to you. I want to like pick everybody up and shake them. Try to get it through to their head. I am not ever going to reach out to you on Telegram like that. Ever, ever, ever. And you cannot get a QFS account until it occurs. And it's not going to be called QFS. It's going to have a total different name. So there, on that one. Got a got a salty message, corporate attorney. I've got to change a lot of how my name is used out there. Nobody has permission to use my name on any of their platforms. I am not them. Too many people out there pretending to be other people. It happens to Charlie Ward, happens to me, happens to Zester, happens to Mike Barra, happens to even Kukla, happens to Salty from Seeds of Wisdom, happens to everybody that has any kind of profile. Some fraudster picks up their name and starts, well, trying to get you to trust them so they can take advantage of you. I am not reaching out to you. Yeah, Bernard. So just to be clear, yeah, I don't. Yeah, common sense, people. Use your common sense. Exercise the old noodle. Be very aware of who you're talking to and actually talking to. I'm not chasing you down. I'm not asking you to donate money. I'm not doing. It's not me. Stop. Let's see. I'm thinking we got new money today. Yay. Well, it'd be nice to get new money today. Let's see. My credit union is waiting to put their new app in play. Distributive ledger app. See, there you go. They're calling it distributive ledger. There's going to be all kinds of, I don't know. I wonder what the official name really will be for QFS. Probably distributed ledger system. Salty. I'm really not salty. I'm just tired of people pretending to be me, and I'm tired of people falling for it. Many of you guys have gotten really good. Like when I get salty about that, when many of you guys, they reach out to you, you catch it, you send it to me. Always call them out for being a fake and a fraud. Always. Happy birthday, Larry. All right, let's get to it. Some fun stuff out there. Probably the most interesting because I really do. Really do. Want to get to Mr. C and maximize that time. And then we've got Matt and Lucas today, which ought to be a lot of fun. I've really started looking forward to having them join Fridays after. It's like an extra cut up session for me. Trump to sign order to pay TSA agents. So he came out last night, said, I'm going to sign an executive order. They are getting paid. This has got to stop. America can no longer be held hostage. It's been long enough. So he called them out. He said, it's going to end. And it's going to end tomorrow. So guess what? Senate stayed up late and finally came to an agreement. One that doesn't dismantle ICE. Yep, right. Then we bounce right here. Senate passes DHS funding bill to end 40-day shutdown and airport chaos at 2:22 a.m. 2:22 is when they finally passed their bill. But it took him willing to go completely around him. In other words, it was a political loss if they didn't go ahead and pass it. They got to look like idiots. Now they're the ones that solved the program. America sees through it completely. All right, now let's get to some news. U.S. Embassy warns, leave Iraq immediately. It's a bit of a mess there. It is a mess and it isn't a mess. It's a big mess that can be solved very quickly. And I want everybody keep that in mind when we talk about what's going on. It is something that could come to completion extremely quickly. And it could all look like a mess until the day that it does. But U.S. Embassy warning everybody to leave. There have been so many attacks and security threats against Americans and U.S. linked interests abroad in the Middle East, in the region, Iraq especially right now, because of the proximity and the close ties they have had to Iran ever since the, Iraqi war, pretty much. Now, remember, historically, Iraqi and Iranians don't like each other. They fought an 8-year war. They're not very good friends, but religiously, they're kind of bonded in certain spots, in certain places, in certain factions. It's really not as easy as just it's not cut and dry or black and white, unfortunately. Good and bad is, but in this case, it gets a little confused. Parliamentary calls for an emergency session after repeated security breaches in Iraq, meaning U.S. Iranian forces targeting, U.S. and Israeli forces targeting some of the PMF or the militias that are tied to Iran. It's causing a serious problem. Iraq's refusal to deal with this head on years ago is causing them a real stomach ache right now and a lot of turmoil. And this is probably the biggest lesson we can take from this. When you put off tough decisions, it gets worse, much worse. It's easier to make the tough decisions early and change things. So we've got to make the tough decisions and change things. And on that front, really interesting and developing story going on in Iraq right now. And it kind of reminds me of the US as we pit one side against the other. Parliamentary calls for that emergency session because of the targeting of the forces. Now we go over here at the most dangerous sovereign decision, Zeden. Declaring war in Iraq is an exclusive constitutional decision, and factions should not be allowed to isolate. What he means is that certain of the PMF forces that are linked to Iran, they've declared war on U.S. and U.S. interests. They've been bombing U.S. interests, Israeli interests, other interests in the country of Iraq, regardless of Iraq's government saying, no, do not, we are not, this is not our war, stay out of it. They have no control over those armed militias. And this is you can't have a country where you have armed militias running around with differing views. That's the same thing as trying to run a country with different drug lords fighting over territory like they do in much of the world, in Mexico, with the different cartels. Same idea, same level of fear for the people. It is not acceptable. And this is his point. This is a problem we wouldn't have if we would deal with the problem. You cannot have unassociated militias running around willy-nilly when they have extreme ideological views. He's just pointing out the facts, and this is going on in Iraq and dominating the conversation right now from what I am being told. Now, keep in mind that what I'm being told could be biased because of the person's personal opinions, but somebody within within government agency in Iraq, and they're saying that overwhelmingly the people support getting rid of the PMF. So I find it very interesting when I listen to it because I see some news articles and they differ from what I'm being told from people on the street, which is true all the time. U.S. politician, special U.S. politician reveals moves to control markets and Iran's imminent collapse. This is what we keep hearing, that Iran is much closer to a collapse than what much of the world news is publishing. How much of that is true? How much is not true? We know that Trump extended their 5-day kind of a truce, a pause on certain infrastructures to a 10-day. Mesmer saying that Trump did it on purpose just to stabilize markets, that he is keeping the bigger picture in mind throughout this entire process. And it's a operation to strengthen. In other words, it goes into real depth as to why it is playing out like it is playing out. It makes a lot of sense. I'm not used to, in these decisions, the government or the leaders thinking logically through this, because much of this has appeared illogical. And then you find out what logic they've been using. I'm loving this because it's much more planned than I thought it was. Now they are looking at the end of this, possibly creating a NATO for the Middle East, which I think is epic idea, where the entire Middle East is in charge of policing the Middle East. They're in charge of figuring out who needs what so that it doesn't erupt outside of the region. I think is a great idea. Why didn't we do this a long time ago? I love the idea. Also in Iraq, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs affirms the government's categorical rejection of any aggressive target against Arab Gulf countries and the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, and stresses that security of brotherly Arab countries an integral part. Okay, what we're getting to here is some of these Iranian-linked PMF forces have started striking other countries from within Iraq. So neighboring countries, some of these Iranian-linked, in order to go after countries that they think have slighted them or didn't stand up for them or were neutral in this, or if there's a U.S. interest in it, or a company that's partial U.S. or partial Israeli, they've started striking into other countries from Iraq. This is one of the major dangers with the PMF forces. And them, so many of them having gotten years and years and years of funding and training and ideology from Iran and Iranian influences and the Iranian guard training them, coming in, working with them. You see the headache. They could have dealt with this years ago. We probably would have already had an RV if they would have dealt with this long ago. So the overwhelming cry now is to get rid of them. And this war is messed up and people dying. And I hate to see people dying and hurting. I do. Hurts the heart. It needed to happen. Just needed to happen for all the right reasons. Yeah, I said I won't DM you. Yep, not DMing you, not climbing in your inbox. Not me. All right, where are we at? Oh, we're back still on the Iranian war. I don't have the news time banner on, guys. Back up. You know the news is going on. We're going to hurry and get through it for Mr. C. Joseph, I look at it differently. I don't look at it as the Iran situation holding things up over here for us, Joseph. I look at it as the Iran situation accelerating and getting us off stuck. It's getting rid of all the excuses that have been keeping them from moving forward. It's forcing it. I don't know if it was planned to happen this way or they're taking advantage of the opportunity to push it forward. 13 U.S. bases uninhabitable. Pentagon admits much of the Iran war overseen by personnel working remotely. They don't have to be there. Why be there? Technology makes it. This is going to be the future of warfare. It'll become robotic. It'll become AI. It'll become remote control. They will be expensive. They will be hard on resources. Good news is fewer people will die. When I read these and I'm watching them, and of course they talk about how they're uninhabitable. They've been bombed to pieces, etc. Of course, most of them we pulled people out before anything happened. So for a conflict of this size, injuries are very low. Of course, that doesn't help the grieving widow or the grieving son, the grieving mother, the grieving parents, the grieving children of these soldiers. But that's both scary and comforting at the same time that when it comes to war, fewer and fewer soldiers are going to be dying. The negative is war is going to become easier to justify mentally because you're not sending your soldiers to die, just machines. I'm afraid that we're kind of sanitizing it. We're kind of breaking the emotional tie to the devastation because it all becomes just, ooh, we get to watch the really cool videos of the robots fighting or remote controlled jets dropping bombs. And there's still going to be people dying. They're just not going to be your soldiers. As long as you're the biggest and baddest country. I don't know. I'm a little worried about this dystopian future. War, like Grant said, wars become too easy then exactly. Wars need to be ugly, they need to be uncomfortable, they need to be nasty, they need to be all those things so that we don't have them or that we do our best to solve things without them. You make war too easy, it's going to go ugly. What do you think about Trump's signature will now be on all the new treasury bills? The signature hasn't changed since 1872. Matt, I'm afraid to get too excited because what it means to me is we have indeed absorbed Federal Reserve inside Treasury. Hopefully, we threw out the cancerous, nasty parts and the spoiled parts. But when I see that, what happened in 1871? Corporate takeover. Now I see the supposed president signing. I don't know. I'm afraid to get excited because of what it should mean. Symbolically, it should mean that we've won this, that Treasury is now, in charge of our monetary supply. What do you guys take of that? I'm wondering, to me, it makes me very hopeful that we have seen that kind of progress behind the scenes. Ocean Sand thinks Fed's gone. Yeah, a lot of people are losing their money after it, but for me, it's a good thing, but they're losing their mind over it. Trump signature on currencies. What's next? Mount Rushmore. Stephen, I don't think it's his ego jumping up there, but hey, why not? We're gonna add Reagan and Trump to it. Living the life whoa, slow it down. Living the life 54 said skeptical. I'm skeptical, but daggone hopeful. Uh, Deborah Patterson, is Mr. C still sure he will be called to put in the he is still absolutely positive he'll be called? I know there's some back and forth. And to me, some people will get downright vicious and fight over it, which is silly to me. Would you be okay if Mr. C, being the good patriot he is, and it's not him that signs it, he's been a diversion so that it still gets done with more safety? Is that possible? It's possible. I don't think it is. I still think it's Mr. C signing, but just let's say that they're right. He's not signing and he's just a diversion. He still did his job. He still gets paid. The thing still happens. So for me, I don't understand why people get hung up on that one. Don't understand it at all. I'm fine with it. Mr. C would be okay with it. He'd kind of feel used, but I think he'd feel okay with it as long as he gets paid, as long as it happens, as long as we bring sanity back to the markets. He wants what's best for the world and America more than what he wants 10 minutes internet fame saying, I pushed the buttons. It would kind of hurt after all the abuse his family's been through. But, ooh, what we got here? Mom's 93rd birthday today and sister Kim's 64th. Happy birthday to Kim and Mom. 10:22. I got to hurry, guys. I got a couple more, just one or two more to get through. So we're ready for Mr. C. Gigi has said, I've always heard Mr. C is a diversion. I don't think it's a big deal, but hey, who cares? I'm with you. If he's a diversion, okay, he's a diversion. And he's done a heck of a job being the diversion. I'm okay with it. Realtor Cherry Cheryl. Let me get to this one. Ivermectin, the same as the FenBen link. It's over here. I just dropped it into chat, biozox.com/MarkZ. Got a lot of people asking this morning. That's why you want the link tree. The link tree is going to start making it easier. We're going to start having one link where all the links get uploaded, checked to make certain they're actually the right one that takes you to where you need it, has the information you need for codes, etc. Should have done that a long time ago. Okay, yeah, no news on bonds. No news on, well, I shouldn't say no news. There is some news on whether or not they are or aren't working my redemption / wealth management contacts. They were told not even on call this weekend. This is the first time in probably a year they've been told that. Doesn't mean it stopped. And heck, that'd be a great time to do it. Everybody goes home and then they got to rush in. Patience, young grasshoppers. All right, let's hit this one. Boom, we did that one. Pentagon Ways sending another 10,000 group ground troops to the Middle East, suggests seizing Iran-controlled islands. They're looking to send another 10,000 additional ground troops to the Middle East to give the president more military options, even as he weighs peace talks in Tehran, according to the unnamed Department of War official. I got a personal opinion, guys, and I've shared that. I think they're moving them because they are ready for the next phase after the government changes, government change, government collapse, new one steps up. I very much believe that these forces are there for that and are being put into position in preparation for that. Bernard / yes, it should be a massive help. Should be a massive. There is so much good research on that one. So many doctors out there. Ask them. I'm not a doctor. But definitely do a search for those things. Just ask that exact same sentence, same question, in your favorite search engine. Maps, watch April Fools. I think it'd be a great day to do it. I'd also have to call banks. I would have to verify before I would believe it. Yeah, I saw the 82nd Airborne parts of it division going to the Middle East. 1st Brigade Combat Team, War Department official confirmed on Fox on Wednesday. Five Spartans. We need to have Andy on before because while yes, he has a company that sells metals, he also helps us narrow down when and timing and how the new system will work. Pero or P.A. Robinson believes our republic is back. David, they have no leadership left. They are all pine boxed. Yeah, much of their leadership is, and this is why we're getting differing stories out of the press. It has become a fragmented, almost like a warlord system now, where you have people that have different regions, different control areas that are now running it instead of a cohesive single unit in Iran. That's why we're getting the differing stories between negotiations are happening. No, negotiations aren't happening. Because if you negotiate with whatever faction you think is going to win or the strongest, all the other factions, of course, disagree. They're like, no, we're not talking. We're going to be in charge, even though they're not. Normal and understandable. You're not a dictator, but you play one on your podcast. I just get to be the boss here. That's all. Although I rarely do. Let's see. Has anyone heard about the massive wildfire in Nebraska? Anybody? Are we so distracted by what's going on that we're missing a massive wildfire? Tim Fu, this is one thing that is so massively different from any modern day era president. I don't know. Reagan used to do a fair amount of appearances randomly, or what appeared to be randomly. I'm certain they were planned. Mark, Tim Fu was saying, Mark, I'm still impressed that DJT calls live Fox show, The Five, take questions, discuss current issues. I am too. And that most of those bigger press personalities have his direct personal cell number. That is unusual. Yeah, PDCJ, one at the Middle East, NATO, be the GCC or the Gulf Global. Yeah, I wonder, or what do they call it? The Gulf Security Council, GSC. All right, we're ready for Mr. C. And on time, I'm going to move microphones, etc. around. I'm going to mute myself while I do this so it's not as tough on your ears. Bear with me for a minute. Here, you can read some of the latest war news in the background. All right, now I'm back with you and ready for Mr. C. Here in Oklahoma, we have wildfires constantly cause Kansas blows and Texas sucks. Poor Texas. But I know what you mean. It's the whole like, air coming, sucking out of one area, going into another. Dog Star Sports. Yes, there's a massive wildfire in Nebraska. A friend of mine has a farm there and they are watching closely. Mr. C.
Good morning, Mark.
How are you, sir?
Oh, pretty good. We're surviving.
Tell us you got paid. We need some really good news. We need to know what they said when they came to see you.
I wish. The only word I have is I was called a couple days ago and told that this thing is happening almost imminently. But again, we've heard this over the years, so I take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, you definitely should. I've been collecting. Now I can unload my salt by like truckloads. I've spent years collecting.
Absolutely.
Gary wants to know when you think they're going to get rid of the fake news.
After the RV or during the RV, when they pick up a lot of them for being trainers.
I have no doubt that, how do I put this one? It is such a trait or common trait in press, government's life, human nature, that until Christ's return, we're going to go through cycles where it's better and it's worse, and we're going to clean it up. But if anybody's looking for the fake news and you're never going to get rid of all of it.
I quite agree. I'll tell you, it's for the last 20, 30 years, we've been living through propaganda. ever since the 80s when the CIA basically was involved with the 100-year bonds issued by Ted, I forget his last name, who owned TNT. And I think that's what we're trying to work through right now, because we've got a president who doesn't believe in propaganda.
Yeah, well, how do I put that one? Every news is propaganda to some degree. Some of it's just more positive and beneficial, I guess, than others. Twit 28566 asking, where do you all think the best inside news source is? Do you have like an inside source like a Promethean Action or I don't know, like any of those that you like better than other news sources, Mr. C?
I think a conglomeration. I've heard the Promethean group is pretty close to what's going on, but other than that, everybody sees it in a compartmentalized view. That is the one thing that I've been fortunate enough to be able to see from the top down, not from side to side with compartments, based on what I was doing with Delmarva Timber Trust and also with the Bush venture using my name and companies.
Real Doe, he's got a question for you, Mr. C. News out this morning that Trump's signature will appear on our new money. Your thoughts on this one with regard to our new money having been printed in 2008? Are we going to get a massive change? Is he messing with it? Or perhaps because it drugged so long, they're reprinting and his name's going to be on it? And of course, most reports are saying the new money drops July 4th. Does that mean we have to wait? Does it all go at once? Your thoughts on all of that?
Frankly, I don't know. The idea that his name is on the currency is interesting. It used to be the pattern, but again, I go back to what you said earlier about 1872. 1871 is when they collateralized everybody's, what shall we say, birthrights in the U.S. as collateral for the loan from the Queen/Vatican. Long discussion about this with my wife and I past couple of nights about what has been going on. We have been, to get around the propaganda issue for a long time, my wife and I will watch DVDs, and we're into this Marple, all the rest of it, Perot and whatnot. And I find it fascinating watching Perot because it shows the world basically in the 1930s, in particular, World War II, and while Hitler was still getting his stride, getting the power from Wall Street. And it's very interesting to watch that and compare it to what's going on now.
Yeah, I'm watching that and I'm thinking back to, was even Kennedy's name on the dollars? And I don't think they were they, when he did the silver certificates? I'm trying to think of the last time a president's name was actually the signature on a bill. And
I don't think so.
Yeah, I have a tough one figuring that one out. I don't think his, I'm pretty certain it was, if anybody's got time, do a little research, find out who signed the Kennedy silver certificates. With the Fed, Mr. C, with the Fed's pivoting to holding the rates and potentially only one rate cut this year, how does that look for metals markets?
Oh boy, that's a good question. I think they're gonna fluctuate because of the volatility in the marketplace. Once Iran and Ukraine are dealt with, I don't see a problem. I think they're gonna level out because everybody's, the amount of silver that's being used right now in platinum and palladium, I think it's driving the prices up. Gold has always been the nemesis of the Wall Street market. So I'm not sure where that's going to go. But then again, that's not my forte.
The conversation about whether you're going to be the one to release codes or not is, raging again like normal. And I'm just one of those. It would suck if you got used as a diversion, but then again, if you got used diversion made happen, you still get paid. I guess, I'd be okay with it. I'd hate it for the suffering you went through, but
it doesn't matter whether I'm the one or not. But I'll tell you, based on the conversations I had with Interpol and also those that I've worked with, I was not necessarily diversion. I was the poster boy because I was the one that told Bush Sr. to shove his job up his butt to him over the phone when they tried to force me to use my broker dealer specifically for Bush Sr. I told him, hell no. I took the exams, he didn't, so I didn't care. And the Golden Dragon heard that, heard our fight with the rats with over Leo's money, over the Howie scenario, and with the Queen, the stolen gold from her in Fort Knox. So it does not matter to me, but since I am written into the protocol of the gold treaty, I would find it if I'm walking around, they're going to show up.
You ready for the next one?
So let me go one step further.
Go right ahead.
When I started working with Bill Barney, he had a secondary operation going on to get his companies paid and peoples who work directly for Senior. One of the things that's very interesting to me, Bill Barney was a very intriguing guy. He worked for Senior. He worked for Johnson, LBJ, a long time ago. He was an Arkansas boy that worked in Texas big time. And he made a lot of money from Bush Sr. And then he handed it over to a guy to manage for him. And the guy who managed it gave it to Senior. And Bill was so payout. He said, wait a minute, it's not right. So he tried to get his money back. And what they did is they bankrolled him with unpublished treasury notes. He had a huge roll, trillions and trillions of them, that whenever they needed money, they went to him, he signed off, and they gave him the monies on the record, on ledger, from the treasuries. And the problem is, every time they gave him money, they took it away. And when I came on board, right during Joe Marva, he said, you're too dirty, I can't work with you. I said, hey, check me out. There's nothing wrong with my record. So they checked me out. He said, he checked me 3 different ways worldwide. He says, you're damn clean. What's wrong with you? I said, well, that's the way it is. So it's not surprising. But I've always had detractors because the problem with Bush Sr. was he used everything as a sieve. Everybody that worked for him had a bad side to him because it was a lie or it was a put-up job. For example, the aircraft, the DC-8 that I bought in Canada, that was used by Bush and also the King Fahd operation to transport drugs for Eagle 2 was in Love Field, and they offered to sell it to me. I said, fine, we'll hypothecate it. And that ended up being a lawsuit with myself and King Fahd being the defendants until they showed up here and did 11 hours of deposition and found out I was the one that was defrauded, and I had over 600 pages of documents, and they had 20. So it's a very interesting situation.
Very interesting one. 420 Aviator. It's making it tough to read it. Mr. C, what is your thoughts on Iran war being a distraction for the Federal Reserve servers being switched to Treasury with new money, new value? That is one of the latest out there, that the whole thing is being used as a diversion while they switch over our money.
Well, number one, the switch is not going to happen until the RV happens. Number two, Iran and the Fed Reserve decimation are part of the Nasera law. So it's not a diversion. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, an operation of law. They have to be dealt with, and Trump is doing them one at a time.
Real Dobie, last time a president's signature was on money was 1834. That kind of makes sense because even in 1870, whatever we would have been coming, it would have been like Grant, all the stuff coming out of the Civil War. It kind of makes sense that the last one was before the upheaval started because our politics went sideways about that year in the U.S. So I love history. And I love figuring out what's the real history. I was, Zester and I were having that conversation, I think Wednesday night, the changing history books. I've got some old history books. You guys sent my uncle, Danny, was a history professor, and he, had access to some of the books that he left, and man, his history changed.
When I was a sophomore in high school, my parents bought a farm, a dairy farm, which we dairied since I was 11 years old. And in the house, the Cotton family, they were hoarders. And they had, when we walked into the house, they had stacks 10, 15 foot high of newspapers and books. Books going back to the early 1900s. A lot of them were history books. And I was an avid history reader at that time. And it's fascinating to have gone through them and got a real different understanding of what history was. To me, there's an undercurrent of history that I've been talking to my wife a lot about this because she's trying to understand how things got to the point where they are right now. And if you go back into early English history, you will see the kernels of the walnuts and everything else that's going on right now because of the 337-year history of the control of the Chatham House operation within London of world economies by controlling the tea trade, the silver trade, the drug trade, the slavery trade, and the colonization of the world. Ever since since the war between England and Spain and the Great Fire of the Great Fleet, it's been going on. So what Trump is doing right now is destroying that whole operation, bit by bit, brick by brick, and making the world what it was prior to England coming to power. So it's fascinating to me, and I could go on for hours, but it's really something.
Yeah, if you're really wanting to go for hours, here's a great topic. Mr. C, once you punch in the codes, have they given you your next steps protocol?
I don't know what those would be. At the time that I stopped talking to Interpol, about 2016. I was told that I had a choice when they come see me of doing my programs or doing a job that they had in mind for me. And I do not know what that is or was. Whether that's still true or not, I don't know. But I was told, I asked them, what can I do, can I not do when I get paid? They said, you can do anything you want, except you cannot be involved in the adjudication of the rats. So that's where it's at.
I'm reading some of these from the back and forth on monies. Interesting. Yeah, okay, we've seen that one. Supposedly on WikiLeaks, Maduro had a bribe list of 60 plus senators from Venice that Venezuela was paying, and we keep hearing rumors it's going to drop. Do you think we're going to see that?
Eventually we will, yes. When the purple walk happens, that'll be there because we'll see who the congressmen and senators are who received the monies from them as well as pharma to control us.
Mr. C, question: when you flip the switch, is America the last country to get paid?
No, we're the first. We're the first in line. The RV is based upon the gold-backed currency of the U.S. of America, the republic, the new republic. Because one of the things that will be happening immediately once I release the codes to the new treasury is that we will fund the new republic. So that we're the first ones, but it's going to be a simultaneous event. All the signatories at the same time to the gold treaty will be released. So it'll be virtually a simultaneous.
Some interesting rabbit holes here and thoughts. I'm wondering, Dave Levang is saying, I'm wondering if we were never supposed to have a president. Maybe that was the imperialists getting control of our government. If we were supposed to have, other than the Constitution, I would assume some other form. But there are a lot of questions about our founding and the role that possibly London had in it.
Well, we were never supposed to secede.
No, we were definitely never
No
supposed to
revolution.
secede.
So we were all supposed to be part of the empire. And that's, even though I know that a lot of people have problems with Churchill and his thoughts and operations based on empirism is somewhat contrary to what I believe. But even so, he was a great statesman, and he was able to see from the history of the past to the future. And he was pretty cognizant of what was happening.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe Churchill, because a lot of people look at his actions and they're like, why do you do it that way? He was such a realist. He could see the difference between the comfortable decisions, the uncomfortable, and he could see what was going to happen if you didn't make them. Now, he was very much probably one of the most realists to ever serve in government. Not perfect, guys. I'm not claiming that at all. Yeah, he just said, okay, here's a job that needs doing, and just get busy and get to doing it.
Really, I give him credit for hanging in there after he was kicked out, criticized, humiliated, and he came back. They kept fighting.
That kind of sounds like a Donald Trump thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the fighter in him that I appreciate very much. He's hanging on my wall right now. And his saying is, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is courage to continue that counts. That is the motto we have to live by.
Cool Raul has a question for you. Mr. C, if you're not the guy, will you be notified anyway? And would you be able to give us a code word for it? Let's say you're notified, they tell you, but you're not the guy. In other words, they come see you to give you cash, but somebody else rebooted the dollar. Would you still give us any kind of heads up?
Well, yes, I would. But again, I'll go back to this. If I am still, which you verified some time ago, I'm still in the protocols of the Gold Treaty. And if I'm breathing, they're going to be here.
Let's see. Massive. Yeah, I hope the new currency we're talking about is gold backed. I don't know if a president can get away with it any other way unless it is.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because it's still fiat, and fiat still is 0-0.
Well, we don't know that one either yet, though. Vapor Trail just said, since the new bills won't be printed until June this year, does that hint that the reset won't happen until then? Or thoughts? In other words, he's saying they're going, the press and the news out there is that they're going to be printing new bills in June to release on July 4th with Trump's signature on it. Does that mean there's no way we can RV before that? Is that telling us our timing, or is that immaterial, a diversion?
I was never told that it were dependent on anything other than the safety of the funds once the RV was executed. So I don't see that as being a factor.
I don't see that one as being a factor really either. Here's one I know you're not going to know. But boy, I wish you knew this one. Mr. C, is there a real Stargate in Iran? That's been one of the many rumors. And that rumor, guys, has gone back a very long time. It even was in Iraq. That part of the reason the Iraqi war is we were trying to secure a Stargate.
I do not know. I kind of doubt it, but I don't know. It's an interesting thought, but just that's beyond the realm of my understanding at the moment.
A corporation has a president. If the corporation is dead, I see what you're saying, but countries have presidents too. And Rebecca's happy because you came to do the show just for her on her birthday.
Great. Happy birthday.
Does Mr. C think that the new system will end stock market manipulation with QFS preventing ghost shares being used, kind of like CMKX, where they were creating fake shares, etc.?
That's a good one. I'm just now writing about that in 2010 in the book. Yes, it will, because QFS is based upon transparency, rule of law, source of funds, use of funds. And when you CMKX and CMKM share kiting operation with the SEC will be stopped because I was told I would be allowed to have a great influence in bringing back the 1930s regs and making sure that they're enforced, not just watered down. So yes, I think it will.
You know, when I hear you throwing some of those dates, it almost sounds like we are going back pre-New Deal, pre-FDR, because that it really is when the government went completely out of control. I mean, it wasn't perfect before then, but it went wasn't intentional, I don't think, on his part, but it created the structure for the deep state to thrive.
Pretty much happened at the same time. 33, 34 ranks were basically to eliminate the theft and fraud that was occurring by bucket shops for selling shares that didn't exist, etc. The 37, 39 regs dealt with issuing debentures and bonds legally, blue sky laws. So yeah, about the same time. But again, remember, we had so many bank crises in the late 1890s all the way through the early 1900s. So it was not surprising that these regs were needed and patched. And the same thing is true today.
Misty, this is a total side note, but you know, Mr. C, your driving distance. Misty just said a meteor hit the hillside in Wayne, West Virginia, 10 miles from my home, setting the hill ablaze. We've been running across a few lately, one ripping through Texas, but take your Geiger counter, your metal detector. Meteors can be worth a fortune, and meteorite fragments and rocks can be worth an absolute fortune, and many of them contain some serious, well, it's not unusual for them to contain some serious rare earth minerals that are worth way more than gold. It's really cool.
Really? We just had one come in, I think it was a week or two ago in Cleveland.
Oh, wow. Mr. C, do you think that Iran will be in the first basket now?
I'm not sure. It depends on the new government. I know that they signed on to the Gold Treaty decades ago. Well, you know, it was signed off in 2013. So yeah, but whether they will be or not right now, I'm not sure.
Mr. C, why should we believe Iran's having great talks with the U.S. when Iran has lied every time we've talked with them?
Well, I think you addressed that pretty good because it depends on what faction is talking, what factions think they're in power. Right now, it's a chicken with a head cut off, running all over the place, trying to figure out who's in charge.
Karen May, I wonder what Mr. C thinks about Dave Schmidt from the Sedona connection. On Wednesday, his email said, I had a request from the Dragon family to make a quick return to Hong Kong. Hopefully this is good news. All I can say is things are developing very well.
I don't know who that is. And I would not be surprised.
Tilly, Mr. C, any specific UK news?
No, I don't have any specific news. I think it's fascinating what's going on over there. With the demise of the Lloyd's of London, which has held the Admiralty law in place for, again, 337 years, I think it's very interesting to see it crumbling over the Strait of Hormuz situation. And I also believe that what's going on is really incredible. That I believe that the Merkel event was basically the rat's entree to get inside the royal family and destroy it from the inside out, and then take it over. So that to me is just a theory, but it makes sense when you look at what's going on between the king and Starmer.
Yeah, that's we do April of this year. In certain instances, India will be counting silver as a basically a tier 1 asset with a 10-to-1 ratio with gold. And that kicks in, I want to say it's the third week of April. Let's see, White Wolf saying, Mr. C, glad you didn't get an unmarked letter from Bush like I did with a gift like I got. Some white powder. Remember when that was going around? People mailing out anthrax? Yeah, we have some of our own, and because of people's backgrounds, I mean, this really was, it almost seemed targeted at folks involved in the reset.
we were very careful. I had 2 contracts on my life issued by the rats, by Trump and then by Cheney, which was interesting.
You mean Bush and
And
then Cheney?
Bush Senior and then Cheney.
Oh, I thought you said Trump and then Cheney. I was confused. Okay.
Oh,
Bush
I'm
Senior.
sorry.
Okay, my bad.
That's what. That's a little brain fog today. Sorry. No, Bush Senior. In fact, they tried many times to take me down legally, and it never happened. I was more of a wily fox than you thought, and so they put on a contract on me to shut me down. And then again, when I put together in 2002 the package of the White House calling out Cheney for the attempted extortion and bribery on my broker-dealer and me and Del Marvin Timber Trust. But ever since then, we've been monitoring what was going on and being very careful. But they had many, many times threatened my life and also Chris. And eventually, Chris took one too many chances. He believed one too many people, and they killed him.
Yeah, that one really is sad because that you really can take it to trusted too many people. Road Sailor, Mr. C, what will actually happen to the banks and private lenders after the RV when their loans become zero value?
Well, basically, number one, they'll probably ask you to reaffirm your debts. I think that'd be standard. Number two is and you have the choice of whether you want to or not, and that's obvious. And I think basically the banks will be just a service provider, not the controller of funds. And the private debt holders are just going to be SOL, out of luck.
Frank, yeah. Napoleon said history was written by the winners. It's true.
Absolutely.
Some of these, I don't know if they're behind in chat or just having an extra conversation about history and the history of history. It's fascinating. I love it. I could stay all day in this one. Mr. C, is my life savings in my local bank account?
Are they safe? Yes.
Meaning it's safe, but is your actual life savings there? Nah, it's digital somewhere all over the place, but I think it's safe. A lot of people worry banks are going to collapse. And for me, if you got under 250,000 or whatever, I don't think I'd be too concerned.
Now, I was told by Interpol that the object here on the RV is to make sure that the common people do not take a hit. You know, their retirement funds will be are in place and be funded. Their monies will be go back, and they will not take a huge loss. They will not take a loss. That's the idea.
Wow, Axios reporting that Barack Obama's passport has been flagged. He's not allowed to leave the U.S. Until after 3/10/26. I guess when he has to appear in front of Congress or something along those lines. Or that's interesting on the date. Iran burns in a federal grand jury in D.C. has issued 14 subpoenas tied to the Obamas for 150 billion in unauthorized transfers to Iran.
Well, that's the tip of the iceberg.
Wow, things are gonna get crazy.
Remember, Obama's wife, Michael, whatever, went to the Vatican to try to get her money out of that. That's 700 billion right there, which they were not allowed to do.
Anthony with a question for you, Mr. C. What are your thoughts? Do you think the RVs this year?
Actually, I do. I think Trump has basically put himself into a corner by calling it the golden 250th. I think it has to be done sometime this year.
Yeah, what's going to happen to all these like banking, what do you call them? Like Switzerland, safe spots, Cayman Islands, Ibiza, some of the historically where people have all gone to hide their money. I don't think that's going to be a thing after this.
No, and that's the whole point of QFS. They can't hide money. Source of funds, use of funds.
Too blessed to be stressed. Mr. C, aren't wars really irrelevant now under Nasser Jassera? Don't wars have to cease in order for countries to participate?
Well, it says to cease all aggressiveness, U.S. activities, but You know, I was told a long time ago by the Interpol people that the U.S. is going to be the world policeman, and that does not surprise me. So what we're doing is we're preparing for the RV by corralling and negating the narco trade, the money laundering trade, and also the manipulation by the Chatham House on world economics.
UKMA, Mr. C, what are your thoughts about Pauly, previous general manager of the Rothschild Group, taking over as the Vatican Bank Board's president? I don't know if you saw that. I was like, what? I wasn't surprised, but
I'll tell you what, the Vatican Bank can't do anything. They took away the Federal Reserve banking inside it, so they cannot create money. And the government of Italy has told them they can't even issue money. So it's very interesting.
Jeff the Snyder, Mr. C, I hold a private mortgage. Will that be forgiven?
Well, supposedly the RV and the debt jubilee will take care of all loans, all debts, private and otherwise. But it depends on how it's structured. If it's between you and another individual, it's probably going to be left alone.
And Agape, Mr. C, are we going to have another shortage on food and toilet paper like the craziness brought on by COVID?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always prepared. I grew up in the country. We were always prepared. You always had a plan for when power went out for extended periods or something like that happened. You always shopped as if you may not be able to make it to town. I don't know. I don't understand why more people don't prepare. It is crazy to me. If history's taught us anything, you're going to need to be prepared.
And one has to realize that COVID was the first stage of taking over the country and demolishing the rights and the ability of the people to rise up. That's why they had the shortages.
I just noticed time. Can I hit you one more before you run away?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
See if we can come up with something good and fun. Benton Broken, does the topic of the Panama Papers get covered in your theses? What are your thoughts on how they got away with the theft? Or, yeah, I don't know if you're probably going to talk about how they got away with a lot of stuff, but I don't know if you're going to name out specifically the Panama Papers.
One, I'm not aware of the Panama Papers, so I'm not going to deal with them. But yeah, there's about 1 million different rabbit holes one can go through with all the stuff that I'm putting in the book.
All right, I'm going to cheat on you, Mr. C, because I like this one from Real Dobie. When you enter the codes, derivatives go to zero around the world. What does that do to the markets and those that work for them?
Well, derivatives do go to zero. They're taken off the balance sheets. So what that does is that and requires the banks to maintain a level balance sheet. Right now, derivatives are contingent liabilities to the banks, and it's like the lead weights in the ship to keep it upright. But unfortunately, when the RV occurs, that's gone. So the banks no longer have that. It's not a safety net. It's just one of those issues that's remaining. Actually, I think we're going to be in good shape after that. But derivatives are gone. The fiat currencies are basically gone. We have parity, gold-backed currencies around the world, and we have a debt jubilee that takes care of all debts. So it's going to be a fascinating time.
It is going to be a fascinating time. All right, Mr. C, thank you very much for joining us as always.
Well, thank you, and thank Lyman. I appreciate it very, very much. I appreciate the opportunity of getting on my soapbox and explaining a little bit about what's going on, what has been going on. See it that way. And let's hope they do show up this weekend. It'll be fantastic. Otherwise, I shall see you next week as usual.
All right, take care.
Bye now.
Bye. The illustrious, notorious Mr. C. We need to hit birthdays, and then we are going to cut up with Matt and Lucas for those that want to stick around, find out what their specials are going to be for the week over at the CBD Gurus. Terry's birthday, Truck Part Wizard, Rebecca, Larry, Kim, her mom, anybody else. Sound off, even if I don't get to see it. let your friends and community members wish you happy birthday. So they tell me it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, darling. May you live, may you love, may all your dreams come true. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those celebrating. All right, now we're going to hang out over here and wait for Matt and Lucas to join us. All right, well, maybe we'll just hang out with me. Happy birthday to all those celebrating. A lot of people worried about banks. Mr. C's not worried about banks. I'm not worried about banks if you only have so much in there because you'll see more signs. They'll pay out the smaller accounts even if they start collapsing, or they'll just try to move you to a CBDC. But short term, I'm not as concerned. But structurally, unless we reset, though, there's definitely a reason to be concerned. Part of the just brutal truth, banks hold less than 2% of the money that are supposed to be deposited in them. So if there's a run on the banks, you guys do the math. A little less than 2% of the people get their money. The rest of everybody's screwed. What's the first thing I'll do when this goes? Reach out to the mods immediately that we are getting ready to go live. Announce for you guys any instructions, directions, etc. Finish that and take a long nap. I don't even know if I'm going to have the energy to cry when it goes, like with joy. Pammy, what will happen to our monthly Social Security payments? I'm told that they are absolutely protected. You will still get, you don't need to worry about any of that you are covered. You are good. Supposed to have more purchasing power. I'm told that the average Social Security person will have about $5,000 a month in purchasing power. That doesn't mean that they're going to up you to $5,000. Just means that you will have that level of purchasing power. Let's see. They don't have, yeah, they're doing a show, but the link didn't send. All right. That's why we don't have Matt and Lucas and everybody. Let me go check the, yep. It is still a circle spinning in their outbox. Let's reload that one. That's starting to get that more and more often of late. Need to start verifying. Do not trust Google or the ABC company. They've got the link now, guys. 220 of Iraq's House of Reps demand election of president on Monday. That'll get things off stuck, Bill. All right, now we can rip.
Good morning.
Hello, Matt.
Hey, hi, Mark. How you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Doing good. Doing good. Just a beautiful Friday morning, you know.
Yeah. Sorry about the link. It was sitting there spinning in the outbox.
Well, that's all right. You know,
which means I got like a couple other emails I got to resend.
Yeah, there you
Daryl
go.
always thought I was being efficient this morning.
Well, you know what? That's all. It's the machine. It's never us. That's for sure. So
yeah. Well, sometimes it's me and I forget to hit the buttons.
Well,
that one I hit the button.
Yeah, I forget too, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I forget a lot.
I don't want to admit any of that bad stuff. You know.
Yeah, just too much. See, Matt, you have too much going on. That's why you forget stuff. It's not because we're getting older. It's not because we're not eating enough lion's mane, although that helps us deal with it. We just have too much going on. Run with that one. Don't say different.
It is true. That's true. It's true for everybody because we got so many contraptions around us that need our attention besides our brain, you know. And man, you know, people didn't have that 30 years ago.
No.
I gotta go to the dentist today. I gotta go to a meeting. I gotta go to lunch. I gotta punch out. That was it.
I saw somebody had sent me a buddy had sent me a interesting one. It's a minister and he's talking about like all the things that you have in life, helping others, family, God, all those, and he pours like rice represents all the small things in life. Um, this extra thing, going over to I don't know, going to a movie, distractions, playing your video game, and then they're like certain things that are bigger things. They're like the size of a biscuit, so they're different size. And he puts all the little things in, and it's just about full. There's just not room. There's not room for God, family, wife, all those things. But if he does it the other way around, he pours it all out, puts the big thing in, puts God first, puts all the others, then pours all the small things around it, and it fits no problem. And I was like, boy, that's a good one. We got to prioritize the important stuff.
Yeah, you really do. Everybody has to, and I think there are people because I deal with a lot of companies, and they I want to say before 2020, they would really try to get a lot of things done for you, and I'm not talking about Lucas, other people, but now it's no big deal. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to be gone for a week here and don't worry about it. And then other people, they if they haven't dealt in that stretch in business, before 17, 18, 19, then 20, and then 20 and after, they don't understand. It's not like it used to be. If people don't have stuff on the shelf and they don't care. There's that made a lot of people that really didn't treasure money anymore just say, hey, you know what? I'd rather have a better life, because it got them to slow down, I think, in 20, especially. Just to say, hey, you know what? I kind of like this slower life. It's more fun. Does that make sense, Mark?
Oh, yeah, it makes absolute. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody just seriously one-upped you, Matt.
Oh, look at.
Yeah, we just got to get him to unmute. We get to see his face.
Look at him. I think he's on the roller coaster and back too, or something.
Yeah, he's like in front of a roller coaster, but we got to wait for him to unmute and talk to us so he can tell us where he's at.
It was just way too loud. The train was going by. We're just it's actually me and my wife's 15th wedding anniversary. So we took kids. We're at Dollywood.
Oh, check that! I just saw the roller coaster shoot by overhead of him.
Oh yeah.
Like, what are you doing when this goes? I'm going to Dollywood.
There you go.
It's good.
I didn't even know it was still open, but it's good. It's open.
Oh
I
yeah.
I haven't heard anybody talk about it lately until you mentioned it. So anyway, that's been open for a long time.
And don't worry, Matt. I brought
the what?
I didn't even think about it, but it's kind of funny that I brought him in a baggie because I haven't done the 2-packs yet.
Wait.
Hold on.
The what?
Hold on.
What you?
Hold on. Well, because eventually I want to do them in like sachets and stuff, but I brought to take or whatever because I had to eat them throughout the day. Are my creatine gummies?
Creatine to go.
Oh yeah, I eat them throughout the day. Love them.
Yeah, that's something I need to get on is the creatine because it's so good for muscle loss.
Muscle loss. Not only that, but the studies that have come out in the last, I'd say, 1 to 2 years are really evaluating the mental clarity, along with they're even doing it for massive depression and anxiety.
Cool.
So finding a massive help with anxiety and depression, but mostly like the mental clarity, not being able to get sleep and being able to take creatine and being able to feel like you just got 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Like it's pretty awesome every time. Oh, another one just went by. Mark, gosh, I wish you were here. I'd throw your butt on there. I would throw you over my shoulder and toss you on that bad boy.
I love roller coasters.
Oh yeah.
I love them.
I went on one in the last 45, 50 years and it scared the shit out of me. I get so scared of that stuff, man.
Oh gosh, man. This last one that my boys made me take on, I was ready to throw up and pass out. I was so sick to my stomach, going upside down. I'm like, guys, I need a little bit of a break. The show is perfect for that because I was The old tummy wasn't doing so hot.
Well, speaking of the tummy, a number of the ladies in here have said that now they get to see Lucas because it's been so long. Say, Lucas, you're looking
It
awfully
has been a while.
svelte. Very svelte. I mean, I know it's your 15th wedding anniversary, and I know your wife can't be happy. You got women in here, like, you know.
Well, you know what? She'll manage. She'll figure it out.
That's what happens when, you know, she pulls the whole like reverse cougar thing and she goes after that hot younger man, right? She's gonna have to accept that ladies in the room are gonna be looking at her man.
I'm sure the beard has gotten a little bit grayer since last time I was on the show. Get a little pepper.
Wait,
little
mine or
black
yours?
pepper. Oh, both. Gosh, I feel like I'm, 60 years old.
Matt, this is a good time for you to tell us how to get in right now, real quick, Lee.
Oh, for sure. Okay, here we go, guys. The CBD Gurus. Okay, we got the CBDGurus.com. That's how you get in the site. And when you're in there, you hit Mark's name on the wholesale on the top, and it'll then you put in your code, and if you need to. But I think a lot of you need to because Scotty did a new page on the front page, so maybe you got to put in the new code. But anyways, it's lowercase KRAMCBD, KRAMCBD. And then when you get in the site there, you'll be in the specials. And this week, we got a great deal. We got, everybody gets a 20% discount plus. So, and that discount is MAR20. You put that in at the end. Plus, we've got, I think it's 5 or 6 items with 20 million Bolivar also. So when you just buy that product, you get that. So you get the currency and you get the discount this week. And now if you have any questions, get them in today for Friday. And you can leave a message on Saturday or Sunday, but we'll get back to you Monday because it's summertime and we got to take the weekends off, and relax a little bit. So call 612 on that, 412-8343. And if you need to put in a text, go ahead. But, you can put in a text saying, call me for an order on Monday morning. If it's Saturday or whatever, that'd be great. Okay. So now we get to the specials, you guys. Here we go. So the first one, you get the 1 pound mushroom coffee with 20 million Bolivar. There you go. And then the next product we have is the creatine gummies. And those are 1,000 milligram per gummy. And those are mostly really good for older people, right, guys? Is that right? Lucas?
Oh, man. I mean, it's good for
anybody.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
creatine gummies are probably they're just before it was just the people working out. And anymore it's become, I mean, I think wasn't RFK Jr.'s like, hey, I want to replace all the fluoride in our water with creatine, just because we don't get it anymore. We used to be able to get it in our meat source and through the protein, through cows and mostly through beef. But with the depleting of nutrients and such, we just don't get as much creatine as we should. So, I mean, it's really, really essential. And we start to see a lot of degrading in our bodies when we don't have it in our system. It's great.
Yeah, and I'm going on.
Yeah, a lot of age-related symptoms or side effects could be mitigated. Protein, I mean, creatine, there's some cool research coming out.
There really is.
Yep. And then, so the next product we got you guys is the Superfood Probiotic gummies there. And 60 count there, 20 vitamins and minerals, plus the probiotic stuff there. Right on, Lucas. There you go. And then the number 4, we have 3,500 broad spectrum natural with 20 million Bolivar on it for $25. Okay. And then we got the Miracle Gold gummy with 20 million Bolivar on that one. We got the lotion, 5 different scents with 20 million Bolivars on that one. And then the next one is the 60 count mushrooms with the 4 mushrooms, 20 million Bolivar on that one. Then we got our Delta 8 gummies sitting there. We just always put them up there because everybody wants them. So and they
Yeah, that's
know where to find them. You know,
best D8 product on the market I've found.
there. I appreciate that, Mark. That was a good thing you said there. That's true. And I would say Lucas makes those. Yeah, Lucas really does make those. I was gonna try to take credit for it, but I was thinking in my head, there's no way I could.
I mean, worth the shot.
Lucas is gone.
You can
But,
at least try.
yeah, what a creep, man. Yeah. But anyway,
Well,
okay.
and,
Then we,
and we rigorously test them. So that's the other thing is a lot of the D8 gummies will convert back to D9. And so what we try to do is, make sure that we do a lot of testing on them. And we've had to throw a lot of batches away over the years, but we've kind of dialed it in. And a lot of people just don't care. They're just like, nah, just sell them. It's like, no, it's going to be literally the exact and perfect dosage that we make these.
exactly. Then we've got our 10 milligram seltzer waters. We've got orange. I'm back on track. Lime and cherry, and $5 a piece on those. And then we've got our Excite 10 milligram 20 pack gummies. We've got our roll on there, and we've also got. And you know what? I got 2 rave reviews from other companies this week about our 250 pack 1 milligram. One guy, he goes, "Oh my God, man, you're selling them too cheap." And I go, "No, it's you got to stock up, Plus it's 1 milligram. And remember, those have 10 milligram CBD in them too. So if you had 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, or in the cases, actually, you know what? I know some people, they might take 10 to 15 a day, but I'm not telling you to, but you can. And, but you really don't go too overboard. Okay. Oh yeah, those are $100. Okay. With 20% off, they'll be 80. Yep. There you go. Okay.
That's like 25 cents a gummy.
Yeah. Is that what it is? Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
Lucas, do the math. I think I did it right.
like
Which one?
30 cents a gummy, something like that, close to it.
Yeah, $100 for 250. Isn't that like 25 cents a gummy? That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Well, the discount, so it's about, I don't know. We got to get a calculator here, and I can't
Yeah,
get
right.
at it.
Yeah. Well, and it's
Sorry,
good too
guys.
because it allows people to, kind of stock up on them, especially with, things potentially happening at the end of this, or at least the beginning of end of third quarter. So it allows you to kind of get a box and throw them in the old refrigerator.
Yeah, I think we're going to need you to do like a 250 bag of the 5 and the 10s if they don't change that law for the refrigerators.
We are going to look at doing a bulk on a lot of these products.
Yeah.
For people at the probably summertime, June, July.
The
The problem is the price. I don't know where the prices are going to be. It might be super high. I have no idea. But at least just know that we're going to at least try to help you guys out as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, for sure. And, it's kind of a lot of more people are using the 10s now too. I would say it's going to the ones in the 5s because not the 5s, but the ones in the 10s.
The ones are just so great. That's what we like, Matt. Like, I love the ones because I can eat them throughout the day. I don't want to eat 1 gummy. I want to eat 4. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Get your
Maybe I'm
candy.
a little bit of a sugar. I have a little bit of a sugar problem.
Well, and they're sugarless too. So they do have the fruit stuff in them, but it's,
It's very minimal, but yes, it does have natural sugar from the fruit puree that we use as the coloring and flavor. But yeah, no, they're awesome.
And okay, so during the day they got these guys, they're 3 doors down, at the warehouse, 3 warehouse buildings down, and they used to have a lounge, a THC smoking lounge in St. Paul, but they shut her down because of Minnesota's laws and all that, whatever. Well, anyways, they went through. There was 3 guys over there. I think they had about 40 of those during the day, and they were not. That don't even affect those guys, And then, but anyways, they really liked them. So, and then when I told them, I said, there's no sugar in them, and they go, "Really?" I go, oh, they were kind of shocked, but anyway, they really like the products here, Lucas, and because they were in the business and they think they're pretty cool. So that was good to hear. Okay, we got our regular gummies, we got our sleep gummies, we got our 5 milligram Delta 9 gummies in different flavors there. And then we've got the blueberry, the lemon, we've got the immunity, that's CBGA, CBDA. And that's another thing I explaining that product to those guys. They didn't even know about the CBGA and CBDA, even though they used to have stores, and sold stuff. That's kind of funny. But is that true, Lucas? A lot of people don't even know about that kind of product. Are you there? Okay. You guys
Matt,
there?
you got to ask me again. Sorry, I'm kind of it's chaotic here.
Okay, that's just small talk, so we'll let it go. Okay, so we got the 5 matrix mushrooms with energy and turmeric, and then we got it in 3-pack for 100. We got the Miracle Gold. We lowered the price on that before. That's 39. We got the double Miracle Gold bottles. Those are each 69. One with THC, one without. The 14,000s at the best deal in the business at $59 there. It's got all the THC, but it's also have all the cannabinoids. Then we got the 5 matrix mushroom. We've got the more gummies. We got the lozenges, and those are a hit. People are really starting to reorder those. I mean, that's nice. I appreciate it. I mean, I think it's the 2 milligrams, so once again, people can have 3 or 4, and then they maybe have 5, or I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, throughout the day.
Yeah. But then we also have the 4 cans of
Big
chug
chug.
there. We got the now here's what I do out there, everybody. So don't think I'm going crazy on the stuff for myself, okay? I just pour it in an ice tray, and like I have 1 or 2 cubes a night, usually 2 now, because I'm used to it. It makes me sleep better and everything, and makes me relax around the house more, especially when I got other people visiting. And do you guys, when you have people visiting, do you tend to take a little bit more of the THC, Lucas and Mark, or not?
Well, Matt,
I do.
Oh, okay, I do too.
it depends on who's visiting.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, and but anyways, those are 4-packs there, you guys, for $30. So each 4-pack, you get oh my God, 220 milligrams of THC. So it's quite a bit. So
That's a lot.
those would be good for a party during the summer. Everybody is over, and you just get out the ice cubes and let them know what's in them. But that's what I do, and that's all the products here on special, everybody. And there you go.
Let's see, Maria. All right, Maria. What is X-Site good for? That's just your basic. I shouldn't say it that way, but it is D9, and they have different.
Chocolates.
I'll let you, Matt.
Yeah, we got chocolates. We got about 6 different flavors of chocolates and peanut butters. Little nuggets. We've got the lozenges. We've got the popcorn, which is a huge hit. And I was surprised how big of a hit that was. I think me and Lucas were both surprised. But we got the popcorn in the bag, and don't eat a lot of it. Just like that's another one, unless you're used to it, But it's very good stuff. And yeah, I hope I don't get these guys going too much down the warehouse here, but now they're all hopped up on my products. I mean, they're not hopped up, but I mean, this is their busy season, so they do about 5-6 cars a day on the detail, and they're working. So I don't know. The weather's getting nice out, so I guess they're happy. Everybody's happy, and I'm happy. I wish I was at that amusement park though. I wouldn't go on the roller coaster though.
Yeah, I would.
It's a blast, and they keep bugging me. They want to go on the one that goes upside down here next, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh boy, let's giddy up.
Man,
Obviously, what they need is like Uncle Mark and Uncle Matt to come ride some of these with them.
That's what I'm saying.
Say less.
It's a blast here, man.
Oh yeah, this one, Sylvia worried and shouldn't be at all. Lucas, the 5 matrix with the turmeric and black pepper make my mouth and throat burn a little. Is that normal? It's black pepper.
No, I wouldn't
Yeah,
at
but
all.
I mean, it's a capsule. I mean, it won't
Yeah,
get
you wouldn't.
dissolved
You'd
into.
swallow
I mean,
it.
are
So
you?
you're not supposed to.
I mean,
chew it,
maybe if
know?
you chew it, but
Yeah.
don't chew the
Nah,
don't
no.
chew the capsules, guys.
Well, maybe like, does it burn after? That would be a little. Maybe they're allergic to turmeric or something. I don't know. I love that you added turmeric and black pepper because both of them help you uptake more of the polysaccharides, the mushroom. I think that was a great idea.
Yeah, I haven't heard that, and I've been taking turmeric and black pepper for years, and not in that formula, but I've never heard that before. So I don't know. Maybe you want to get checked out. There might be something else going on. I don't know, but don't anybody else worry about it because that's the first time I've ever heard that. So.
Yeah, but I'd be curious if anybody else has, or maybe how she's taking what she's taking in conjunction with. Here's one that I find interesting because this is a normal side effect from certain coffees and people, and somebody's explained it to me before, but it's been too many years. Good morning, fellas. I started drinking your high five coffee. I'm really enjoying it. However, I think it's causing very loose bowel movements. Normal, temporary. One, there are a lot of people out there would be like, wait a minute, give me more of it because they need things to help speed that up. But coffee is a natural. Do you know the word for it, Lucas, where it does that?
Diarrhea?
Well, no,
it loosens
it's
the
just.
bowel. It helps you go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Kind of like a natural laxative. That's.
I mean, the funny part is a lot of people use coffee every
as a
morning
laxative.
for that very purpose.
Yeah, but I've never noticed that with it. So I mean,
No.
everybody's biology is a little different, but
I mean,
I think
maybe
a lot
if
of
you've
people
never
would be-
drank coffee before, maybe you'll have that. But I mean, I don't notice any difference between it and regular.
Matt, your local baker wants to know. Said I want to bake cookie brownie. I sent you, but want to add CBD powder. They still want that CBD. Some of them still want your CBD powder that you did.
You know what? I would say for recipes like that, get our capsules. We've got those. I think they're 100. Yeah, they're 100 milligram capsules. So just throw a couple of those. I've done that before, where I've taken a couple of those and put them in cookies.
You
my
could-
own cookies.
You could
my
run
own
with just
pepper.
a drop or two of your 1400 or something in there. It would serve the same purpose.
Yeah, for sure it would. The oil, yeah, it would be great. And especially the peppermint oil, it gives it a little bit different taste.
Chocolate peppermint.
Yeah. So that works. It works great. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it's good to mix all that stuff together. I'm a big mixer of things. I learned that from my grandma. She was always mixing everything up, especially my brain, But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, reading some of these. Yeah, our bodies didn't fall apart overnight. Putting them back together is not going to happen overnight either.
No, it's not. And yeah, and although I think I'm a good example as an older guy, I've not fallen apart yet completely. I really worry about Lucas though, because he was really he seems like he's wiped out a lot sometimes.
Well, I'm wondering what's causing all the gray that's in his beard. Is it the family? Is it Matt? Is it me? Is it is it all of us?
He must be on the roller coaster again. Yeah. No. Are you there, Lucas?
Yes. Yeah, it's we get to take advantage of him when he's like this. Jen
I know. I don't like it. I'm trying. And you got 4,000 screaming kids, and I'm like, man, I can't unmute myself during this chaos.
Yeah, the good thing is we very rarely hear anything in your background. I'm guessing you got like AirPods or something in. They must be really good.
Yeah, I do have an AirPod in. I wondered if it would, how much background noise it would actually block.
I mean, I've heard background noise once. I heard like a lady's voice in the background once, and it was really faint.
Here's a question for you. There's a question for you right there.
D3 K2 gummies. When are they coming? Are they coming soon?
They were made on Wednesday.
Nice.
So once they're done curing, then we'll ship them out, bottle them up, and ship them out to Matt. So we just have a little bit longer to go.
So roughly a week, and they'll be in stock.
Yep,
Well, that's
About a
pretty
week.
good.
week
Yeah.
and a half, something like that.
Nice.
All right, week and a half. Grip. Good morning. How's my chocolate supply going?
Chocolate supplies, good.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ordered enough. You should be all right because order it up. And
In other words, it's in stock.
oh yeah, we got
All right.
everything in stock. We got milk chocolate, dark chocolate, Dubai chocolates. We got the peanut butter chocolates. We got the cookies and cream chocolate, and oh, we got the taffies. Those are great. The raspberry taffy and the strawberry taffies.
Well, when I was a kid, I loved taffy. Dennis probably loved it too. Kept him in a new Volvo. Actually, I think his was a Peugeot. Janice says very little soap choices for 6 months. Daggone it! When do we get almond, cherry, and oatmeal milk and honey back?
Pretty soon. I'm gonna. You know what? I gotta call them and see where they're at today. You know, I should have called that yesterday. That was one thing I let slip through the Matt brain yesterday. But I'll call them as soon as I get off the show. See where they're at.
Tanya wants to know what's best for anxiety. What works for you guys in chat? Because everybody's a little different on this front. My guts would be to like try the big pack of mats where you're taking just 1 milligram at a time, because if you're not used to it, you can get real anxiety if you take too much the first time until you like get used to let yourself have the feeling of relaxing. Some people's bodies, they wig out. They find their body and their brain relaxing because they're so used to living in a fight or flight mode that it wigs them out. That's what's going on. When you're like, I took that, I can't take that. It wigs me out. It's because you got control issues. I mean, sometimes it's biology or your system.
The
but often
lion's mane is really well documented for people who do have a or a low tolerance of THC, and is able, like, lion's mane for anxiety, especially over time, is just, I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that study,
especially
the
the
Japanese study was
research.
like 30 days of usage, and they found it like exponentially better than all the, pick them, my drugs, kind of like the benzos and everything your
yeah.
doctor gives you. They found it has a lot of side effects and not great. And Japan, they did the study, and it was overwhelming on anxiety, ADHD, like all of them. Plus, cuts your chance of dementia.
Okay, so we got the pain, inflammation, anxiety oil too, you guys, because I've used all this stuff, and that one, if I take a dropper of that, I could 45 seconds later, I'll feel it start kicking in a little bit. Although it doesn't last as long as if you had the 1 milligram. I would take the 1 milligram, and then, but a lot of things will take the anxiety away. Even a good dose of CBD. 2 of those regular gummies, oh yeah, that'll take the anxiety down for sure. On me, it does. Makes me relax. Similar to a lot of mushrooms, it really does. A lot of things do.
No, wait, that's what I was supposed to be highlighting. This one, when will will they have the party pack 1 milligram gummies back? The smaller one, lower than 250. Just some people, I guess, the size and the cost more than they want to get.
Well, we've got the 50 count packs, we just, right now we're out of the 120 packs. I was thinking of not bringing them back, but I'll bring them back. Yeah. Because, but I think those were selling for 69, and right now we got the other one without the sugar for $80. So it's really not that big of a deal. Plus you get double the amount. So I would just get the 250 pack. I just think they're a better, not a better product, but they're equal to it. Right? Okay. Did I say that right, Lucas? They're as Lucas knows, he's a
No, I'm
king
here.
marketer. No, but what I was saying
my
is,
whole thing is like it's more money, but my whole thing with the bigger pack is find someone you could split them with, right? Like, find a friend or something and buy the pack, because it does save you money,
Money.
and just split the pack in half.
Saves you a ton of money. And speaking about that, we didn't even put them in the specials, but we have chicken treats available, beef treats available, and then we have chicken with mushroom available. And for all the pet lovers. And then let's see, I thought I did a hell of a deal here because I got the same ingredients we had before, and I told my pet treat guy, I said, now listen, keep the same ingredients. What's the best price you can give me? So now we got a 360 count pack for the people with big dogs or little dogs that want like a 4-month supply. It's only $50, I mean, it's 10 milligrams CBD in each one of those. And man, those will make your dog nice and relaxed, and especially when they're younger, not so crazy, when they're in that 1 or 2 years where they're kind of learning, that they're, kind of feisty and everything. But yeah, so there you go. The pet treats in stock. Get them while they're hot. And like Lucas says, he just says, just put them in there, Matt, and sell them out. That's what he told me yesterday. Didn't you, Lucas, say something like that?
I didn't talk to you yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Woo! They're
No,
young.
he
I
didn't
love
say
it.
that, you
Back
guys.
up.
Hey,
No, but
that's another, I have to get you back for you and Mark, just tearing me down.
This
hey,
is how
did you
friends
see?
treat each
Oh,
other, guys.
hey, on
Folks.
on Bev P, on your question, with that, I would definitely talk to your doctor about it, because especially with kidney problems, and it's like with any of the things, any type of new regimen that you guys want to do, any supplements, nutrition, any of this stuff, you want to talk with your doctor, especially if you have, issues or problems going on. Like, just definitely talk to your doctor. Your doctor's going to know all about creatine, or at least hopefully they do, because it's been around forever and is the most studied nutrition supplement that exists today. Like,
Yeah, maybe
creatine
even
is
more than vitamin C.
even more so. Creatine is the most studied. So just talk to your doctor about it. I'm especially with the benefits and the recent research. They can work with you on creating a good regimen that'll help you out.
Hey, go ahead. Did you have a question, Mark?
No. You go ahead.
Okay.
I was
No, I had a
looking
guy
for more
yesterday.
questions for you.
He had some zits, and I mean, it was not on a phone call, but in personal contact, because I put the Miracle Gold, on my face sometimes and just rub it in, and it seems to, I don't know, it clears everything up. Not that I have any pimples, but if you put the Miracle Gold, Lucas, and on pimples, will it help them?
Well, it is a great antimicrobial.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. That's what I
Yeah.
told him. I said, this will work for you, so gave him a
Um,
bottle of Miracle Gold,
No,
Well, he bought it from me,
Dwayne's got a question for you, Matt. On the resorts, will they be set up for people who tour or go on motorcycles? In other words, yeah, that's definitely got to have. You can't have a resort without space for the motorcycles.
Yeah, what's an RV resort without motorcycle people there? For sure, 100%. Oh my God, yes, yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, and yeah, so yeah, we'll be motorcycle friendly, whatever. I don't know. I've never been in an area where you can't have motorcycles, right? Except when it's snowing out, you don't want
Yeah.
to. I mean, I used to go up and eat at, when I was a kid, I'd go eat lunch sometimes at the 4 local bars. I was thinking about that the other day. They were just within about, I would say 150 feet of each other on 4 corners. And there would always be motorcycles. This time of the year right now, today it's probably going to be about 65 out. So yeah, there'd be motorcycles up there already today, Friday for sure. Yeah. And I'd be walking in there and eating lunch with all the motorcycle people. You bet. And God, I'll never forget, I was in a rest stop in Iowa, and I walked we slept overnight. I was a little kid, man. I was 12. And I went into the bathroom in the morning, and oh my God, there was probably God, how many was there? I'll bet there was 60 outlaws. They were camped inside the rest stop, camped outside, and it was, truly those guys being around make things safe, So, I felt safe, All the only thing I got was, "How you doing, kid?" "I'm doing good,
Yeah, I'm thinking about all the years back in the past in the bar business, and I never got worried when the bikers rolled in because that's when I knew everything was the safest.
You know what? You're right, Mark. It's 100% true because that's the truth. When I used to go eat at the bar when I was a little kid, it didn't bother me at all. And I'd cruise in there when I was in 6th, 7th grade, and eat lunch, have a hamburger. It was great. You know what? It's the way it is. So bikers, 100%.
I
In
mean,
fact,
Lucas used to run with the Hell's Angels. So, I mean, he knows bikers.
no, Lucas was with the, I don't know. Yeah, Lucas. Yeah, he was a biker.
Yeah, he was more
I
with the
did.
motocross folks, though, racing dirt bikes, I think.
I did both. I rode for probably, I don't know, every day to 10 days or so, or 10 years. Just to,
10
10 years. All right.
Yeah, see, I love this, folks. Lotion 2000 has really helped with arthritis in my hand. Somebody else who reported really helped with the Miracle Gold. Those lotions are just great. Ooh, yep. In your campgrounds, we need ATV rentals so people can ride around ATVs, or we better do like those Can-Am roll cage ones. Maybe we can set them up a spot they can go get crazy.
I'm going to have all kinds of crazy things there, you guys. And we even got to have one of those things where you can actually get in there, one of those big wire balls where, and Lucas knows how to do that. He'll get in there with this motorcycle and then go upside down and just keep whipping around in there. And then we'll bring somebody else in there till there's about 6 or 7 of you whipping around in some big, cage ball. You guys know what I'm talking about? They used to do them at circuses.
Yeah.
oh
Like
my gosh,
circuses and all
yes.
those.
Those are the crazy people.
Oh, they still do them. Nuts. They're like, most of them, they're like running around on these like really hyped up, crazy little like Honda 50, like these little mini motorbikes that are way too strong for their size. You'd think you would read about somebody dying in those all the time.
I think I was in 3rd grade at one of the first circuses I ever went to, the big Barnum and Bailey's, man, and they had that thing going, and I was mesmerized because I'm thinking that is a skill right there. And I think they had 2 of them going in there, and it's like, oh my God, I thought they were going to hit each other.
It was all fun and games until my brother and I went home and tried to do it on the mopeds.
Did you really, Mark?
No, but I could have pictured us trying to do that. We were that
All
kind
right,
of
boys.
idiots.
All right, guys. I got to lock in. Sign
All right,
off.
lock
Talk
in.
to you a little bit. Look at that
Oh,
bad
no,
boy.
you need to show us this. Oh, he probably can't. All right, lock in, lock and load. Have fun. Now, it would have been more fun. I don't know about you, Matt, but I think he should have had like a GoPro on him so he didn't have to worry about it. It's like strapped to his chest so we could have ridden that go-kart with him. Or we've just got to get him one of the helmets with the camera on top.
Oh, he's going in the go-kart? Okay.
Yeah, he was getting in the roller coaster.
Oh, the roller coaster, yeah.
Yeah, he was getting on the roller coaster.
Oh,
I was looking forward to like riding the roller coaster with him since I can't really get in and out of them. I'm going to have to talk one of my nieces or nephews into taking a GoPro on their helmet and going through, or maybe one of my kids.
Man, I get so scared on those things. But what it was when I was a kid, though, we had the old amusement park. It was called Excel. If anybody from Minnesota is here and listening, they'll know the Excelsior Amusement Park. And you couldn't stand under that roller coaster and watch without a bolt flying off every 5 minutes, And then every day they'd have to, because it was an old wood roller coaster, they'd have to go in there, put bolts in every day, And then the people doing it, they weren't not like now. They're probably pros, but back then it was just, I mean, they were good people and everything, but if something would have happened to the roller coaster, they probably just would have left town. They were probably getting paid cash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was, the amusement parks were a lot different when I was in 1960, 65. They didn't start getting good, I'd say, until about maybe the mid 70s. Yeah. Where they were pretty safe, We're pretty much, Anyway,
Now, I did see some people asking for a 250th U.S. America anniversary moo-moos over at CBD Gurus.
you know what? I'll tell you what. Why don't we do this? How about we make a nice golf shirt? Not a golf shirt, a bowling shirt. A nice shirt. Not a t-shirt, a moo but a nice bowling shirt. How's that sound? Would you wear a bowling shirt, Mark?
Yeah, I'd wear a bowling shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wear a moo though, Matt.
No, I don't want to wear the moo either. And I don't know. The moo is just, it's got the bowling shirt you can wear everywhere. You know, you can wear it around the house. You can wear it out to dinner. You can wear it to the amusement park. But the moo I don't know where you wear that.
Yeah, I don't know where you'd wear that. Although, yeah, I mean, we got one of our own in our chat, bowlers or bowlers addict, or bowling addict. I forget bowler. Anyway, bowler who we all guess it is a bowling score every week. And I think if we did if you did a CBD Gurus bowling shirt, we'd probably have to sponsor them by giving them a shirt.
Sure, for sure. No problem.
And then we would just need some pictures of them actually bowling in it.
What kind of image? Yeah, for sure. But what kind of image should we put on the back of the shirt? You want your image on there, Mark? Not your big head, but it would just be one big head on the back of the shirt.
Oh, wait, but no. We'll put my face in a bowling ball and put it on there.
Yeah, okay. That would be great.
That way they can throw me away, throw me at the pins.
Yep. Okay. No, that would be it. That would be cool looking. Yeah, that would be cool looking. I started thinking about this about a month ago, but just like everything else, it's just one of those things. I talked to the person who runs the company, my buddy, and it's springtime hitting, and he's still in Florida, and then she's running the company, and she said, "Well, yeah, let's get it going, Matt," and then how that goes. So, but you know what? I'm going to stop by there today. It's a good day to go see her.
And, Matt, I think you're going to need to go by the bowling alley and do a little research too.
The bowling? Oh, yeah. During happy hour, you mean? Or
exactly. I mean, you need to do research, see what the fellas are wearing around there and the ladies.
Oh, yeah. For sure. And, God, that reminds me, we used to have a big bowling alley right next to our high school. That's why. The big chalet bowl, was right next to the football field, and older guys after high school, they'd go, why did you call it? Was it like the Rose Bowl, the chalet bowl? And I said, hell no, that was the bowling alley right next door. But they shared a sign, Mark. The chalet bowl was right on the football field fence, And oh my God, the people, and it was a big. The stadium there held about 8,000 people. Pretty good for Minnesota, and they always thought that was the name of the field. And the one guy's going, I swear to God, I thought it was like the Rose Bowl, the Chalet Bowl. And I'm going, hell no. That was the bowling alley. And that was a nice bowling alley, though. I think it had about 40 lanes. It was crazy. But
I was never great at bowling, but I tell you, I always enjoyed bowling with friends when I was young, when I could still do it. And that's only got to do with condition. Otherwise, I always thought it was fun to hang out and bowl with friends. I always thought it was a good time.
Oh, I had panic. We'd go to that place so many times we wouldn't even bowl. You would just go in there, walk in the middle, and you could see 20 lanes that way, 20 lanes. You just look for friends. They'd be sitting around bowling. You just go sit down with them and start drinking, and you didn't even have to bowl. I didn't. Who cares about the bowling? I just wanted to sit there and have fun. And then, but then it would turn into some feisty ordeals once in a while because everybody would go there, and and the brawling would start. But I tried to stay away from that. Trust me, that wasn't good. So, but anyways, that was it. And yeah, the bowling shirts. I think the bowling shirts would be nice because there's a lot of t-shirts. I want a bowling shirt, a nice bowling shirt. So. Yep.
Flying Squirrel just wants to know, are you guys ever going to make any more of the lounge pants?
Well, I think we could get a matching ensemble there with the bowling shirt and the lounge pants. Yeah, why not?
Now, can you make some bowling balls that have CBD Gurus on them? Because then you can I roll with the CBD Gurus, or I roll with Matt. This is how I roll.
The bowling balls, I think.
I mean, that might be a fun. Can you imagine the cost of having your own custom bowling balls made to sell? Whew, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, that would be too much probably. But you could. I was thinking maybe you could have them painted on there, but nah. Man, there was a time way back, Mark, where I had engraved rocks. Oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
it was so hard carrying having a big thing like that, and we had some truck stops do really really good at them because we'd have picture of a football mascot on the front, and especially up in Fargo, because they were so good at one time, the college up there. But yeah, I remember bringing 700 up there one day, and it's a hassle. It's not like 700 bottles of pills like CBD or something. It's a lot of work, man. A lot of work. But you know what? The people liked them, except for the guy who called later and he said, "Oh, that rock." He says, "You know what happened?" I go, "What?" And he goes, "Somebody threw it through my front window and broke into my house." And I said, "Well, I guess that'll happen."
Yeah, you got to quit having your name on a rock, because then you're responsible for every crime, like Acme Brick Company.
Yeah, he called afterwards, and I'm like, well, "What do you want me to do about it? You should have put it in your garden in back of your house or something, not put it
Not
on
through
the
your
front
window.
step. That's what'll happen. I guess somebody will pick up a rock and throw it through the window, But anyway, yeah. Well, and then we were gonna ship them, but it just was so heavy, so heavy. In fact, we almost had a deal with the WWF Wrestling, and Vince McMahon. He's a weirdo, but he really liked it. He still got, I guess, to this day in his office. He probably doesn't work there anymore, but he used to have it up on the shelf. It was our design. So anyway.
Marcia just asked, what's the code to get 20% off? Marcia, it's super easy, because in order to order, you got to get into the website and into the wholesale side, and then it tells you right there what it is. But it is MAR20, basically March 20 for a 20% discount, MAR20. But it is, if anybody's looking for that code, it's on the website. One of the simplest, easiest to use websites on the planet for any of those folks. Don't hesitate to use it. Unless you've got a question about a product, then definitely call them and ask, or text and ask those questions.
Yep, for sure.
You want to tell them how to get in again? I don't know if we're going to get Lucas or back. I mean, I'm willing to keep hanging out so I can find out if he threw up after the roller coaster. But
yeah, he probably didn't throw up, but he's pretty tough. Oh yeah, okay. So here's how you get in the site, you guys. You go to thecbdgurus.com, thecbdgurus.com, and then when you're in there, if you have to put in a code, you probably won't have to, but it's lowercase KRAMCBD. And then when you're in there, just see all the specials in there, and then make sure you put in MAR20 for 20% off. And if you have any questions, call today, and call at 612-412-8343. And either Wendy or Amy will take the call and help you out, okay? But mostly Wendy, and if you get a recording, just leave your number and she'll call you right back. Hopefully.
Oh yeah.
No, she will.
She will.
I'm
Amy
just
will, or Matt will. Somebody's going to call you back.
Somebody will. No, I shouldn't have said hopefully, but she does get busy on Fridays after the show. So it won't be maybe in 5 minutes, maybe it'd be in a half hour or something, or more. I don't know. But anyways, that's how you get in the site, you guys, and you're all set there. And I guess we can get rolling, Mark. You can.
It's up to you, Matt. I like hanging out with you on these. I mean, to me, it's fun. And a lot of people have said that you just put them in a good mood. Finn, I noticed that earlier too.
And the thing about it, every time you buy a product, you guys, we set some aside for the RV resort, and what that's all about is I've set the Boulevard aside, tons of it, yeah, 1 ton at least. But anyway. And it's not at the warehouse. I got it in storage somewhere, so don't come to the warehouse and try and grab.
Thinking you're going to be going away with lots of currency.
Yeah, because we don't have any there. Just a little bit here and there for that week,
Mm-hmm.
But so, anyways, then when the money revalues, then we'll use it for that. 100% of it's going to be used for that. It's not like I'm going to get any of it. It'll just all be used for that. And whoever bought products, like we've actually got one gal in Minnesota. She's got a huge family, and she's probably listening right now. And she's bought a lot of stuff, so she's going to have a lot of resort memberships, just tons of them, and that'll be good. How you doing, Mary? Her name's Mary. But Mary's been around since day one, you know, and she found us through you, Mark. Yeah, she listened to you, but it just so happened that she was living about, I would say, less than a mile from where I used to live, and yeah, in Minnesota there. But she orders all the time, and you know what? She's such a good customer. Sometimes we just bring it over to her house, and we just knock on the door, and just hand it to them. You know.
I mean, you kind of do that for me when you mail me stuff to try or use or do. I mean, it shows right up at my door.
Right, but I mean, we bring it up there. We used to bring it
That's
up
pretty cool.
personally because we're not allowed to deliver in Minnesota. No, we are, but no. Are we? I don't know. I don't know what the law is in Minnesota anymore. I don't care because we're not based in Minnesota anymore. We got our warehouse in Wisconsin. So, and you know what? We might have some guys open up a store over there
Pretty cool.
in our office. So that would be cool. So you could, real nice guys too. I hope they do. And then you could, if you're ever by there in the summer, especially the people in Wisconsin, Minnesota, well, we'll know about that in the future because right now they're not sure if they want to do it yet. And but you know what? They did have a really, oh my God, they were showing me pictures of their store before it got. Actually, what happened? A car went right through the front door of the place. It was a good sized place. It was probably, I'd say 80 by like 30. You know, in this lounge area, and were selling all this stuff in there, and they had a car go through the front door and smash it. And they demolished the place. And then by the time they would have got it rebuilt, they were changing the laws in Minnesota. So they just said, "Oh, the hell with it." And then they started doing more of their detailing business. You know, that's what Minnesota does to you. They really force you to go out of business almost, you know, but we didn't. We just moved over to Wisconsin, and that area we're in, the warehouses there's nothing available over there because everybody from Minnesota has moved over there in all kinds of different businesses. I'll bet you couldn't find a warehouse spot within 10 miles of that border right now. You know, you really couldn't because they're all full with Minnesota people that got the hell out of Minnesota. The taxes are so outrageous, Mark. You know, it went from 6% over in Wisconsin there, what we're paying now on to Minnesota as high as 25% with city taxes, local taxes, hemp taxes. It's outrageous. And they had to ruin that business. And well, whatever. They're doing all kinds of crazy shit in Minnesota. Well, anyways, enough of that. I don't want to get in any trouble.
Yeah, I don't know how Minnesota's still. There's so many excuse me. How do I put that? Incorporated cities or states. I mean, they ruin business. They run you out of business. They don't want you in business. They want you dependent on them.
Right, and they're damn lucky that Wisconsin border that goes all along the huge population of Minnesota. It's Wisconsin, which actually has some tax. You know, if it was South Dakota in their situation, with no corporate tax or no state tax or whatever, you know, there wouldn't be a business in Minnesota within 40 miles still in Minnesota, except, you know, for an office, for a lawyer, or dentist or whatever. Any manufacturing or anything would be across that border if it was South Dakota. And they're damn lucky. One day I was talking to a guy, huge food distribution. They're nationwide, and they're 210 miles from Sioux Falls into Minnesota. And we were talking, he said, if Sioux Falls was 20 miles closer, they would have moved the whole operation there and then shipped into Minnesota because they would have been saving that much money. But it just wasn't quite the thing, you know, they were just a little bit too far away. But if it was in Wisconsin, that border, they'd be gone. Everything would be gone here. And I'm surprised Wisconsin, if anybody's listening from Wisconsin government, you should take 20 miles along the whole Minnesota border you share with them and make that like a no tax zone, especially because I'm in it right now. You know what I mean? And but you'd get so much business over there, it would just explode, you know. But maybe they don't want that. You know what I mean, Mark? I suppose.
Right.
But yeah, then they're probably buddies. There's Democrats in Wisconsin too. They probably work with the Minnesota. I don't know. Maybe they don't. I don't think anybody works with walls. You know, they just kind of exist with them. You know, and hope he goes away. So, well, that's
Just
it,
trying
Mark.
to survive
You
them.
know, I think I don't want to talk about the politics too much anymore. But I'll just hey, thanks for having us on, and you have a great weekend, Mark. And do you like Saturdays off and Sunday?
I'm kind of getting used to it. It's I know mentally I'm in a much better space because of it. I don't know about you, but it has definitely helped. I feel weird. First 2 weeks I felt guilty for some reason, just that strange weird where you can feel guilty for nothing feeling. And then I was like, this is kind of okay. Most people get more than 1 day to take a break.
Right. I feel great because not today, we're not going to do it, but there's going to be days where I take off after the show, and I'm not going to get back till Monday morning for sure.
Good for you.
You know what I mean? And that's great. I just love it.
That's great for you. I support that.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. And then Lucas has got, kids and stuff, and then you can see it today. He's going to be whipping around all weekend with the kids, having a great time.
Oh yeah, good for him. I mean, they're doing the whole spring break. Enjoy it. That's part of the fun of having a young family, making those memories.
Oh, for sure it is. Yep. Well, anyways, hey Mark, thanks for it. Like I said, thanks for having us on. Have a great weekend, and
You
everybody
too.
out there, have a great weekend too.
All right, I'm gonna see you Monday or Tuesday. I'm gonna drag you back in to tell folks about specials again.
Okay, that sounds good, Mark. Thanks a lot. Take care.
See you, Matt. That was Matt and Lucas, CBD Gurus, our bestest sponsor. Makes it all possible. Cue Ball, Jen, Flying Squirrel, the Goo Man. Who else do I see right there on my screen? Tahoe, Gee Whiz. You guys have a great weekend. All of you have a great weekend. All you mods have a great weekend. And see you Monday morning, unless there is breaking news. Bye, guys.